Um, just before we get started and prior to diving into your article, I just wanted to ask you what kind of people are most likely to have a desire to want to control others, and like where does that desire come from?
Oh, wow. Okay. This is really an important question. I
Yes.
see that there are two different types of people, and have done some research on the first type, overly protective helicopter parents, this has become really prevalent in the past couple of decades in the United States. I don't know about in other parts of the world, but two psychologist colleagues of mine and I did a study about 10 years ago, controlling parents survey, showing what happens to young people when their parents over control them. And as an example, okay, my father was a flight instructor, among other things. He also flew jets and air rescue helicopters. And when I soloed, I took flying lessons, and my instructor got out and I flew the plane around and, by myself and landed it and was so excited. I ran and got on the phone and called my father and said, "How do you know when someone is ready to solo, to take that plane up by themselves?" And he said, "Well, you need to make sure that they can land it, they can control it, and that they're going to be safe. And you can't solo them too early because that would be dangerous." But what he also said next really blew my mind. He said, "If you wait too long, they'll never solo. They will become so dependent upon the flight instructor that they will feel like they can't do it themselves." And I'm thinking that a lot of controlling parents who care about their children and they want them to do well, and all of this, they keep their children from flying on their own power. And we have studies that have shown that college students have greater anxiety and depressive disorder now than ever before. Some people say it's because of social media. Others, and myself included, will say that if their parents have done everything for them, and then here they are away from home for the first time at college, it's like throwing somebody into the deep end of the swimming pool who has never taken swimming lessons. Of course, they're anxious and nervous and depressed, because they don't know how to do things for themselves. As a college professor, I had students come up to me after class saying, "Could you please introduce me to uh, one of the other students in the class?" And I said, "Well, when I was in college, I just talked to people
To say
after
hi. Yeah.
class and met and made my own friends." Their parents have
Wow.
arranged play dates for them while they were growing up. Okay. They don't know how to introduce themselves. So they get very nervous and would get very drunk before going to a party so that they would be relaxed enough to actually be able to talk to people. Not a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
I've had students who want to be creative artists, or to study history or psychology, and their parents insist that they major in business, and their parents are saying, "I'm paying for your education, you will major in what I decide." I've even had a student come to me as for regular advising as a new student, and she brought her mother with her, and so here was her mother telling her what classes she should take. And the student was not able to even choose her classes. So it was very odd. Students have, before ChatGPT, would tell their parents, would send the syllabus for the course to their parents. And the parents, some of them would write their students' papers for them and send them as a Word attachment to an email. So the student would turn in a paper that he or she had not written. So if they can't write papers, they can't meet people, they can't make decisions for themselves, their parents are over controlling them. And a
Yeah.
number of students after graduation will go back and live with their parents afterward, with their college degrees, having majored in what their parents wanted, trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives because they haven't learned to make their own decisions. And I see this as the parents are not trying to be mean or authoritarian or, but they're trying to protect their children. And it's okay to protect your child when that person is 3 years old. But when that person is, 21, 22, 26, or older, and the parents are still trying to make decisions for them, that's really unhealthy. Adults need to have a sense of inner direction, an internal locus of control. We need to believe that we can make decisions for our own lives and that we have a sense of agency. And, well-meaning parents who are maybe motivated by fear, they're afraid something's going to happen to their children, do this to them. I used to walk or ride my bicycle to school when school was close, when it was in the neighborhood. There are other times when, of course, there was a school bus. And in my community now, there are big traffic jams near the local schools because the parents drive their children 2 or 3 blocks to school in these big SUVs, these armored cars. And so the students don't walk to school. They don't get exercise. They don't even know how to ride a bicycle. Again, too much overprotection is controlling and unhealthy.
Yeah.
And those are people who really care about, and are motivated by care, but it's overcare. It's extreme.
Mhm.
So overprotective parents can be very controlling.